everybody. Thanks for watching. Eddie Ohanian from Stylist from the Break Room. I have a very special guest with us today, Sandi Donafhy, who is the queen of hair extensions.
Mhm.
She's been part of the team longer than I've been. Like you were the original. You're the OG HTB beauty hair extension educator, which is awesome. It's fantastic. You are my favorite freaking person. You're too nice, but I tease you all the time about it, and I just absolutely freaking love you. Sandi, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So you chime in during the lives. You always comment during the chats with the educations, with the shows. You're always kicking butt with us. Introduce yourself, because I'm just going to sing praises for you from here to the heavens and back all day. I'm the biggest fan, right? But
Yeah.
introduce yourself properly to the audience who doesn't know you as well as I do.
All right. So my name is Sandi Donafhy, and grew up in Ohio, and um, had like a rough beginning, of life. But my dream and passion was to do hair for people. And it started at age 5. Age 5, I was like, got my hair done, looked really pretty. And I said, this is what I want to do. I want to make people feel like I did. So from that, I just, um, my goal, all was on my mind was like, I want to do hair. I want to do hair. And I did everything from girls that ran away from home, changed their identity, and did my family's hair, my mom's hair, the old Tony perms, and
Mhm.
um, ever since I was young. 8th grade, did a demonstration speech on how to do hair. By 11th grade, I was going to school to do hair. In between that time, like 9th grade, I had um, a head injury. Ended up having to, I missed 72 days of school, but out of the 72 days of school, part of it was cutting school, and the other part was in the hospital. So it was fun. But, anyways, all the stuff that I went through made me it didn't stop me. Like, some people, it'll stop you from like reaching your goals, and it's like, for me it was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I gotta graduate with my class. I gotta get to cosmetology school. I stood at the door of our high school because you had like a lottery. It's like, they could only take 40 girls or guys
Mhm.
into the school. So it was a career center. So I went in there and stood at the door, and I was the first one with my application in, and I got in. I was like, yes, I'm going to do this. Straight A's through school, did a competitions, got first place, first runner up, and I was like, I'm going to do more. I'm going to be an educator. I don't want to be a teacher. I want to be a teacher. Like, I would go to these hair shows, and I wanted to be, that person, that was teaching everybody. And yeah, then when I get on stage, it's like,
You're so cute.
it's like,
I try to
yeah, I
put you on
found my
stage every
place.
time, and you're always like, no.
Yeah, my place is behind the chair or next to the chair, helping somebody work on somebody's hair and teaching them more hands-on. I like to teach people, like, you know, baby steps, like teach them and show them and make them see for themselves, and it's like, we're most hairdressers are like, we learn by, you know, you show me, then I could do it. But if you give me a book and say this is how you do it, I'm like, I have no idea what that says.
Yeah.
So yeah, so went through
And your personal
school.
interactions when you're teaching is so freaking amazing.
Yeah. Well,
It's really inspiring to watch you
thanks.
mold somebody and just take somebody who is nervous, doesn't know what they're doing, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you got them. It's like, holy cow. It's
Yeah.
fun to watch. That's why I
Well,
always want to put you on stage, because it's so amazing to watch you do hands-on with people.
yeah. If I could just like somehow like pretend on stage that nobody else is there and I'm just in this room with a couple people, like 50 is my number. If there's like more than 50, somehow I get like, I can't. I get sweat dripping down, I get the headache, and then it's just like, and I just do stupid things. And then whenever I go on stage with people, oh my gosh, Nicholas French, the guy, he's the most awesome hairdresser. I love him. But he'd always say, don't sabotage me, because he knows many times that I take the tray out, I'm taking the tray out, and then everything topples over.
You're
And
so
Yeah, so people remember me from that. Yeah, what not to do. So, but I love what I do. I've been
Yeah.
doing hair, like, I graduated from high school in '83, so I'm like dinosaur hairdresser, but, um, I've all through the all through the years, it's like I've learned so much, and you constantly learn, and now I work in a salon, and there's these new, owners, and they're younger than me, and of course everybody is, but so anyways, yeah, they're in there, and it's like, you're constantly learning, and it's like that's what I love, because it's like the more you learn, the younger you stay, because it's like, when you think of, like, when I teach somebody like a little kid, like, not like they're stupid, because when little kids aren't stupid, they just are innocent and they don't know. Same thing when you're teaching somebody extensions or cutting or color or whatever you're teaching them. They're just innocent, young, they don't know. Even if they're old and like me and learning extensions, it's still, they're young at that, and then it makes you feel younger. So by learning all these things, it keeps your mind young, keeps you young, and you can reach higher goals. And it's like my goal, my son's like, aren't you going to retire? Like, you're 60 years old now. And I'm like, no, I'm not old. Like, I don't feel old. And it's like, whenever I feel old and I can't walk, I might even sit in a chair and do hair. I'm not really sure. I do have a stool. So, but as if my hands can't move and my mind can't work, that'll be like when I'm done.
You got
But
some years
so,
on me, but I would never know the difference, Sandy. You are more energetic than I am, and everybody calls me a hyperspaz, so go figure that, you know? It's
yeah. So from school, I went, I was going to go to college because I was like, I need to go to college to open up a business. And yeah, $15,000 later, giving somebody money, that was really stupid. I didn't go to college. I learned more than I could learn at 22 years old. I had worked 4 jobs up to that time in 4 different salons and bars, restaurants, everything. Put money away, opened my first business when I was 22. So then from 22, people tell you you're not going to make it, you're not going to do it. I grew up poor. Like, we had no money. I mean, my mom went bankrupt like 3 or 4 times. I'm not really sure. And, we were losing our house. And then my stepdad, he wasn't my stepdad at the time. He just came to the rescue and rescued my mom and us. So I'm really grateful for that guy. He was like the best. But anyways, so I said I was never gonna be poor. I was never gonna be, I'll work 10 jobs, whatever it takes. And so opened my first business, and then they had well water. And it's like, well water, perms, color, everything. It's like, oh gosh. So I was there for like 6 years and tried to make it. And I had done it on a budget. I went in like 30,000 my own money, 30,000 money I borrowed, paid the bank back in 6 weeks. And started making money. It was a 9-chair salon, had 9 people working there. The chairs we worked in were director chairs. I was like, it was called hair
nice.
directors. It was called hair
Yeah, yeah.
directors. So I'm gonna be director chairs. Oh gosh, it was a pain on the back, and it really wasn't comfortable, but it was a start, and I was 22 years old, and it was different. And I got this thing called computer imaging. They take a picture of your face. It was before the times, because this was in um 1988. 1988, my salon opened, and, like 88, 89. So, yeah, I had, like, the computer imaging. People were coming in just for that. And, in class, I was the only one that did foil highlights. I was like, "I found this thing, foil highlights." Everybody's, pulling through the cap and everything, and so, like, I was the only one in my class doing that. Then the next thing, the computer imaging. And then whenever I was at that salon, like, I got married when I was 25. And so um I had my first kid at 28 and second kid at 32. But I had to move the salon, so I moved to the other another location. And in between that time, when I was working at 22 years old, I started working for Matrix and I started teaching. And so I started teaching color, perms, cuts, whatever. And I was there whenever Arnie was there. So it was like the start of it. And we used to go into the test labs. It was so cool. It was like, I live in Ohio and the headquarters is Solon. So I learned a lot of things about like color, it's like we had like A, B, C, and you would do like color remover. So an A is Dawn dish soap. B was Tide with bleach, and C was their color remover. You know which one worked the best? Tide with bleach. It was crazy, but it wasn't too nice on the scalp.
It wasn't too nice on the scalp at all.
No, no. Yeah. But then the Dawn got out the demi and semi-permanent colors for the most part. So anyways, that was fun. That was a great time. I loved working for Matrix. The lady who hired me, she said, if you want to make money doing hair, this isn't the place to go. She's like, this is the place to go if you want to learn and you want to grow.
Right, right, right,
And so
right.
I was like, that's fair enough. And it was fine with me because I would take it back to my salon. I would have Tuesday training day. We would have people training in my salon on Tuesdays. Tuesdays we were closed just for training. And so then, fast forward a little bit, and uh my late husband hated short hair. And
Mhm.
my hair was thin, stringy, um, about down to here, but really to here because the ends were all strings. And I used to fluff it out like a baby chick, like that. And it was 80s. So um, it was 90s when we got married, but it was still try to get big enough hair, anything out of like fine hair that you could see through.
Right,
S-
right.
so um, So fast forward, I cut my hair. Okay, I went to Matrix class and it was with the Altieri brothers. And it was supposed to be the whole team was supposed to go, all Matrix was supposed to go, like at least 200 people, right? I didn't get the memo. I had the flight to Vegas and everything. So I got a one-on-one with the Altieri brothers.
Oh,
And you
that's
know what they
awesome.
did?
They
So
chop
they
your
have
hair
this
off?
little stage. They have a stage set up in their place. And I told him, I said, my biggest fear is stage. And he goes, well, we're going to teach you how to sell on stage. Okay, I'll do this. And he goes, go pick something out in our lobby area and um, pick something out in the lobby area and sell it to us. We're going to give you steps how to sell us this product. Well,
Nice.
me as a smart ass as I am, or smart Alec as I am, I go I go to the shelf and I pick up this candle holder. It was a glass candle holder. It wasn't a product, but I had to sell it. Oh, it was so hard. It's like, how do you talk about the features and benefits of a candle holder? I did it, but they were throwing paper at me like the whole time and saying stuff and then, talking on the phone and you know what I mean, making noise. And I'm supposed to keep my composure and I'm just sitting there just like
Yeah,
half the time I'd be laughing because I was so nervous. And it was just them. I think it was just Tony. Yeah, so it was just like it was crazy. But he's like, you need a new style, okay? And he goes,
always,
this
always with
this
him.
hair is doing nothing. This hair down here was doing nothing. And so he cut my hair like Betty Boop. Remember the style where it flips up?
Yep,
I
I
looked
know
like
exactly
Betty
what you're
Boop.
talking about.
Well, my husband, he was clean shaved. Sometimes you get a little scruffy beard. I can't even tell you what I'm gonna say because you have a goatee.
It's fine.
Okay,
It's fine.
so I said to him, I don't ever want him having a goatee because it reminded me of something. So I said,
Okay.
and so I got my hair cut off. I come home. What do you know? He gets a goatee. He never got rid of the goatee. I got extensions. I went to Sandra Carr's salon and Adrian worked there at the time, and she did my extensions. So then she was doing some extensions at their salon, and I was like, I really want to do this. I mean, at the time, I'm like, she charged me $1,500. I'm like, I can't even tell my husband about it, and that's how most clients are. They're like, I can't. Oh, it was $500. Oh my gosh, that's so much money. Yeah. Nobody tells their husband the truth, or they come in with 5 credit cards. Can I do this on 5 credit cards? And so, anyways, first of Adrian. Adrian, she did my extensions, and then I was going back to her for extensions, and then I'm like, "Hey, I really want to learn how to do extensions." So she charged me $50 to teach me how to do extensions, and
That's nice.
so then they said I can't do extensions or get extensions unless I'm certified. So I got certified to do extensions, and then I started doing extensions, and it was like, oh my gosh, once people knew I did extensions, it was just like I keep on getting clients, more clients, and it's like I don't know how to fit these clients in because I already have a color clientele, and it's like, what am I going to do? So then I started working more hours. So I was working like 10 to 10 every day to get everybody in, and I've learned how to like redo that where it's like I get more time in my day, but yeah, so it's like a big part of my clients were color. Now they're color and extensions, and it's like now I do color with extensions, vice versa, and so then I was working with Matrix and um worked with them for years, and they said to me, "Hey, they did changes and stuff like that." And I the company that I was getting hair extensions from, they were not able to get extensions for some reason. They had problems. And I was like freaking out. I had this lady that was in from Saudi Arabia come into the Cleveland Clinic for her mother. And I was supposed to do her extensions. And it's like I was charging her $2,500 to do her extensions. And I had no hair. Well,
Mm,
Darren, I call everywhere. I'm like freaking out. And I call everywhere. I called a bunch of different companies, but Darren somehow grabs me in and he's like, "You know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to send you hair for free." Like he sent me hair and he goes, "See how you like it." And I used it and I'm like, "I love it." Okay. I was like, it was different because it's like how the other companies' extensions were at first. The bonds from his company were like just how that was. It was clear, like these clear bonds, and I was so used to that, and I was like, this. It was just like you know, wishes come true. So I ended up doing the
yeah.
lady's hair. I ended up doing the lady's hair, and he saved the day. And then I started ordering hair from him, and then he's like, "Would you want to do classes for us?" And I was like, yeah, sure. And I had a lot of people I knew because of Matrix and all this. So I'd get people in classes. And at the time, we were doing classes like, at least, a couple times a month, and
Oh
because
yeah.
it was a different time before 2020, it's like people were able to see people in person, not like now, it's like, or like that at that time, it just changed the world, so. But so I was doing classes all the time and I love it. It was like I got to do that hands-on, talk to people and help people. And so when I was working for him, I was working for Matrix too. And um a funny story. I don't know if I should tell you the story about meeting Darren. I'm not sure, like another guy was working with the company, and so they were going to meet me. I worked for Darren for three months before I even saw him or talked. I didn't know what he looked like. I didn't know what this other guy looked like. And I was at the Columbus show, and I'm on the phone, and I'm talking on my flip phone, and so I'm talking, and I see this guy, and I'm like, oh my god, that guy's so hot, and he's got his phone like this, and we're talking, and then all of a sudden clicks the phone and he puts it down, but I'm still on the phone. I'm still talking. And then I'm like, I thought I saw you, but I'm not really sure, And I didn't know if it was Michael or him, that really hot guy. And then all of a sudden I see the other guy and I'm like, hmm, that's not what I pictured. and then and then Darren walks up and I'm like, hi. It was
It's
just
the same reaction everybody had.
yeah, but it's like from that
But you
point
felt
on,
tall finally. You always say you feel short all the time. Then you finally felt tall.
yeah, I did. I did.
Darren,
Yeah,
what was he?
but
5'2", 5'3", something like that. He's really short.
Not sure, but he's got the biggest personality, so,
He really
um,
does. He has a
and the
way of
biggest
pulling
heart.
you in.
And the biggest heart. So that was the point that I felt like for some reason I felt like family. Like I felt like I just joined this family. Like I didn't see like it's like, I didn't see him for 3 months. So I didn't know. I just had to trust the fact that he was the person that I thought he was. Cause it's like I'm doing these classes and at the time I wasn't getting paid until like I was getting paid with hair. I was just like, just give me hair. I'm good with that because it's like as much hair as I'm doing, it's like it's great. And so it's like I felt like I became family with him. And then when I go to shows, that I met his wife and then met everybody. And it's like then it's like this family grows and builds. And it's like I've been with Darren since 2004. So I think it was like maybe 2006, Matrix said, you can't work for another company that carries products like Color or any other distributor. And we're okay with you doing hair extensions, but they can't have a product line. It's like, sorry, Matrix. Remember we talked about McDonald's? And, like, it's like I could make more money doing extensions and it's more my passion. With extensions, I could do color with extensions. I could do
Yeah.
extensions, lengthening, I could do volume, I could do all the stuff that I love to do. So I stayed with Darren. So I've been with him since 2004. And throughout the years, hair shows, hair classes, just get togethers, meet in Vegas, meet in New Orleans, Chicago, and it's been like great. It's been like I said, like a family, a good family, like not a dysfunctional family.
No,
But
well, until I showed up, then then I saw a curveball and everything. No,
yeah.
it really has been such a family. Like when it's so wild when you call, like even sitting here with you now, I'm just smiling and grinning like a little kid. I can't help myself. And it's really because of that closeness, that familiarity that we
Yeah.
all have with each other. It really is awesome. It just hits really hard when you announced the news,
Yeah. Yeah. And
and it's that one hit us the day Darren told me. I called you immediately because I was so freaking floored. I didn't even know what to say. I've been through this conversation 100,000 times with clients, and you always have something to say when it's the clients, right?
yeah.
And then I'm on the phone with you and I'm like, yo, Sandy, Darren just told me what's up. And I don't know what to say to you. Like, I feel like an idiot right
Yeah.
now, but I had to call you. I just had to call you. I had to hear
Yeah.
your voice,
Yeah. Well, like so many things, like you said, happened. So it's like, back in 2008, my husband died. He got hit by a car and killed. And I just have to tell you that this story about Darren because it was pretty funny. So when my husband was killed, the funeral was huge, and I had no idea that Darren was going to show up. I look and there's like a mile long of people, and I see him standing there, and I'm just like, how'd you get here? What? Like, I was just kind of like, what? And he was there. And the lady I used to work for, I said, do me a favor. Walk up to him and hug him and give him a kiss and tell him, I haven't seen you in so long. And she did.
You're
We
such
laughed
a
so hard.
prankster.
It was so good. And, it's like, so whenever I had a hard time, then he was there for me. And
Yeah.
then in 2018, 10 years later, actually 2017, I walked away from my salon. I had it with owning a salon. I've owned 3 salons in my life. I had it. I had just like a couple people mess me over and I'm like, I'm done. I don't want this. I'm good to people, and like you said, I'm too nice. This was a time I was nice to myself. I was just like, walk away. A year later from that time, I ended up getting breast cancer. I went to I was in California and I was at my son's and I was just having a hard time walking up a hill. And I'm just like sweating and hot, and I thought I was anemic. And I went to a gynecologist there, and Armenian gynecologist, and super great guy. He he said to me, I want you to go get a mammogram. And I'm like, well, I'll go get a mammogram whenever I go to back to Cleveland, because the Cleveland Clinic, it's like the greatest hospital. And he goes,
Yeah.
I really want you to get one now. Like, sign up. Like, I had a mammogram set for a mammogram, and I canceled it. And I made an appointment a week later when I got home, because I'm like, a week's not going to kill me. Okay. But he goes, well, keep me informed and keep me as your doctor. So I went to go get a mammogram. They did a mammogram and they said, it's benign. And it I was like, "Yay," I was all excited, and I talked to that doctor, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you, it's benign, but I do want you to go get a biopsy." And, so a week later, I got a biopsy done, and I got a phone call at 9 in the morning, and they said, um could you write this down for us? And I said, what? And she's like, I want you to write down you have invasive lobular carcinoma, and you have pleomorphic lobular carcinoma, something like that. And I'm like, what's that? And she's like, you have breast cancer. I was like, what? I was just told like last week I didn't have cancer. Okay. Rewind. When I was 35, I went to the doctor because I had a lump, and it was a little lump, and they said it's fibroids, it's nothing. I had a mammogram. I didn't have a biopsy. So, 35 years old, I had a lump, and they don't know the size because they don't have the records from way back then because I'm a dinosaur. And so, um, they the doctor said, I would like you to meet with a surgeon. And I was like, okay. So I was going to meet with a surgeon, but I have a client that is a nurse practitioner, and she was in the cancer, she was with breast cancer stuff, and she went with me. And we talked to the doctor, and doctor said that she wanted to do a mastectomy on my right breast because there was a 9 centimeter tumor in my right breast, and it was like really a whole cup size bigger. And didn't hurt. I didn't have any pain. It was hard. It was just like you could tell there was something there. And I always knew there was something there, but I thought the doctor said it could be fibroid. So I'm like, that's just a fibroid. It's like, don't ignore those things. And for me, I dealt with my husband's death, running a business, opening a business to show my kids to live beyond tragedy, to closing a business, to dealing with my kids in school, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. I didn't really care about myself like I should have. I should
Yeah.
have been more like conscious of this. That's why like most people like they say, "Oh, I'll wait." No, don't wait, because the thing is I was stage 3B. 3B is almost 4. Okay? They told me that I had to have a mastectomy done, and I says, "Well, can't I just have a lumpectomy?" And they said, "No, because it's too large, and it's the cells." They showed me on a MRI that the cells went through the nipple, so they had to take the nipple off. And I'm like, "Great." And then when I met with the plastic surgeon said, showed me what it would look like to have one breast without a nipple, this one, and then it looked different. And I'm like, I used to make a joke and say, I'm not getting implants unless I have to. So this was a time I'm like, I'm gonna have to. So I ended up, my sister had breast cancer a couple years prior to this, and she had a different type, and it was triple negative. And so my sister had dealt with that, and then she was she was doing good after she had chemo and everything. She lost her hair. She went through wigs. She had short hair. She looks good with short hair. But and she even looked good bald. But it's like when people have to go bald, it's like I just remember her wanting her hair all cut off because she couldn't like handle that hair falling out, even if they were little hairs. She just wanted it all just off. And a lot of people get that feeling. And some people are just like leave the strands of hair even if they're just stringy and coming out. And it's just like horrifying.
Eh,
So yeah. So my doctor said, to me that had to go for genetic testing. Went for genetic testing. They said that breast cancer is not genetic. In my family, my sister had genetic testing, not genetic. Even though we're both sisters, full-blooded sisters, we both
Yeah,
had
yeah.
breast cancer of different types. That's what people don't understand. There's different types of breast cancer. There's um, triple negative, there's HER positive, negative, there's all these different types, but there's ductal, there's lobular, there's pleomorphic. Well, I went to the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, and after I went to the Cleveland Clinic, because the Cleveland Clinic told me that if I didn't do chemo or radiation, I was going to die and I wouldn't live 5 months, 5 years, you know? And so to hear that, and then to have to tell your kids that after they lost their father, it's just like devastating. It was just like, what do I do? And so then um I went into the grocery store one day and there was a lady that she said I was going to get avocados and I go to reach an avocado and it was squishy. And then I was like, put it down, get another one. This lady goes, "My daughter used to love avocados." And I looked at her, I'm like, "Okay." And I said, "I'm just getting one for lunch." And she said, "Oh, my daughter, she had breast cancer." I didn't tell this lady anything. She goes, "My daughter had breast cancer and she had a lumpectomy. Next thing you know, what happened to her? It went to her other one, and then she had to get a mastectomy on both of them. And then she went to her liver and she died 7 years later." I went to the doctor the next day and I said to the doctor, "I want both of them cut off, get rid of them. I don't want any, just get rid of it." And I ended up getting a double mastectomy. They took my nipples off, and it was like, it was entertaining a little bit because you know me.
I know. I'm gonna try not to laugh, but you crack me up. Like only you could take a heavy topic like that, and yeah, you throw a grenade into that.
Well, yeah, I could walk around with my shirt off.
You were making so much fun. Like it's
Yeah.
so crazy, Sandy, because we're all over here going, "Oh my God, you poor thing," and we're
Uh-huh.
all. I mean, we do. We. You know how I always tell you, like I'm allowed to have feelings once a year, and I was using you for my once a year being soft, and not being a hard ass.
Yeah.
And here's you. You're like, no, I can walk around as topless as you can. And I'm like, what are you saying, woman? Like, what is wrong with you? You're like, no, it's fun. You were so positive. Like,
Yeah.
was that a defense mechanism to try to make everybody else feel good around you because you felt responsible that you had to make everybody feel good so they don't feel bad for you? Or were you
No.
just being positive about it?
So,
I mean, I
like,
know you're
okay.
always positive.
No,
Like, you're
so
being too
it's
nice.
it's something I got from my mom. My mom was at my grandma's funeral and she's cracking up laughing. She's putting spoons on her eyes, being silly. It's just a crazy thing that I think we do just to when something upsets you or something makes you nervous, it's like I crack up and make jokes. And it's like, and I have a son like that too now. Like, yeah. But it's like you joke and joke around, and it's like you have to make yourself laugh. And it's like they say laughter is the best medicine. And it's like that was the only medicine that was gonna help me. There was no other
Mm,
medicine. The thing is like they took my breast off. They told me that if I didn't have chemo radiation, if I didn't take these pills that are gonna make your bones break, you know what I mean? Then yeah, I didn't take the pills. I didn't do anything. I did it's called Gerson therapy diet. It was like juicing and more of a healthy, natural, organic method to do it. It's like and it's like I've had PET scans upon PET scans. I've had like things that I did. Well, like always something happens. Like when I had my breast removed and I had implants put in, it's like they put in these expanders and then they have magnets in them. Well, going through an airport is really fun because they hurt because they expand them and then they have to wand you and it magnets to it. And so it's like you got this magnet on your boob and it's like, and they take you like, we could do it like in private. And I'm like, no, it was fine, whatever. Um, but yeah, like go walking through airports and it's funny things, but it's like, there's always challenges in life, no matter what it is, cancer, whatever, death. And it's just, for me, I just think that you have to make light of every situation. It's like, if
mhm,
you, the thing is like, you see a person that is dying, they are in hospice, they have hope. These people have hope, and they have, like, some people, like, have hope, and they're gonna die. We're all gonna die, right? But it's, like, how we live. And, my sister was talking about, "When I die this, when I die that," and it's like, "How about when you live? Okay, so let's live."
Yeah,
Like,
I got
everybody
you.
should live and live your life to its fullest. We don't know, even if you don't have cancer, you don't know. Like, my husband didn't know he's 42 years old. He crossed the street and he got hit by a car. He didn't know that he was gonna die that day, and it's like, you live your life to its fullest no matter what, It's like, it's like people make, handicaps for themselves. They make problems for themselves. When you get upset and nervous and scared and all that stuff, it goes to your gut. You go through stress, you lose hair. It's like stress makes you lose hair. It's like these people come in all the time for extensions and they need a wig. They can't have extensions because they're so stressed out. The stress is one of the leading causes, and it's like going after cancer or any kind of illness in a positive way will get you through it. And it just doesn't make sense to me to not laugh. You got to laugh and have fun with life, because it's like, it's silly. Except for when you're dating, whenever somebody says no nips, it's like, it's a different story. But,
I don't know.
but
I
anyways,
always laugh with you the most out of anybody I ever known. I always
mhm,
laugh with you the most, and you're right. You and I, in particular, do ignore a lot of warning signs in our bodies, or a lot
yeah,
of, yeah, like I can't tell you how many times we've been in a group, we've been to dinner, and then everybody's talking about something, and here's you and me, we're like, if I don't know, it can't hurt if you don't know. And it's
right,
like, well, but it does hurt. It's like we're sitting there
yeah,
going, ow, ooh, ee.
yeah,
Like you just mentioned, stop ignoring, go get
yeah,
checked. Like,
yeah.
what does that mean? Because
Well,
everybody's aware of cancer, and there's campaigns all the time.
yeah. Well, I just think that it's like, we're supposed to go to the doctor and get checked, right? It's like most people don't do that once a year checkup thing, or we're like, oh, we don't have to go to gynecologist now because we're over 50. Well, no, you do. You should get checked. Your breasts get checked. I think over 30. So I had that breast cancer since I was 35. It just didn't go anywhere. So I just thought, I didn't do the chemo because my half brother had cancer, and he was allergic to chemo and he died. Okay, my half
Okay.
sister got off chemo. She had a brain tumor. She got off chemo, and she couldn't do the chemo. So for me, I'm like, I'm allergic to everything. I used hand sanitizer when they were making the new hand sanitizer, like during the pandemic. My hands looked like I had gloves, like Mickey Mouse gloves, and my lips swelled up, and it's like, no, I'm okay. I don't want to die from something I'm doing for the cure of it. And everybody's got the choice to do whatever they want to do, and it's like everybody has a different type of cancer and they might need something more aggressive. I am like cancer free now. It's like there's no cancer they found. I get PET scans and there's no cancer. I did have a little scare one time. They had like my tonsil, they took one tonsil out and then they found something there, but it was nothing. It was benign. Um, so it's like I constantly get checked, and now I'm not gonna ignore my health, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
you can't ignore your health, no matter what it is. People ignore high blood pressure, and that causes strokes or heart attacks, and high cholesterol. Like, there's natural things you could do for high cholesterol too. So you don't have to take stuff, that's bad. But anyways, as far as like the afterwards, after cancer, it's like, you know, I didn't do the chemo because I was afraid to lose my hair. I've grown up with thin hair. Until I got extensions, I didn't feel like my hair was pretty. People are say, "Oh, your hair's so pretty." Well, it's extensions. It's not even my hair. Like, you could see right through it. Like, it's like you did my hair before, so it's like cotton candies, like baby
Yeah.
hair. Babies have more, but the people that are having the chance to like keep their hair, and by using different methods like the cooling cap. That is like the most amazing thing. And it's like, for this company to be able to help people get cooling caps, I think it's incredible because it does help. You know, if it helps somebody feel better, that's what we're in the business to do, is to make people feel better. It's like I said, when I got my extensions, I felt like beautiful. And I could just imagine losing all my hair and feeling pretty again. It's like, or even, so most people like have had really nice hair and then they lose their hair. Mine was the opposite. I had really bad hair and then I got nice hair. But I just think it's just great that we were able to have that kind of thing, like the cooling cap and different tools, like, from extensions to the topper thing, the topper, the beaded
Yeah.
topper. I mean, how incredible is that? Because it's like you could help somebody that, they may have a few hairs left on their head that you could still hang on to and not feel like they have to wear a full out wig and be hot, and you could do extensions and you know, um, I just think the hair business has gone so far, even though it's like some old things come back new. This like new technology with extensions, like I said, especially the beaded topper, that is like some people get their hair back after chemo, but they still have little like slight thinness like in the
Mhm.
crown, like male pattern baldness, a little bit here. And then that topper could just go on top and fix it. Or I've done this lady had her chemo, and after her chemo, she goes, "I have a 5 head, maybe a 6 head. I can't stand the way I look." And so I put in extensions. I put in 10 extensions, just cut them in pieces and gave her bangs. And I couldn't charge her. It was like one of those things. It's like whenever I
Yeah.
have people that come in with wigs and they tell me their story, I'm like, I can't charge you for your wig. I don't tell them that, but this lady, I just did it. She gave me like 3 wigs and just to do last week, and she had breast cancer, and she's got metastatic breast cancer. So I did her wigs for nothing, and then she brings me this bag of all these goodies. It's like just like stuff. It's just random stuff, and it's like people feel good that you're trying to help them, and maybe I am too nice, but I love helping people.
But I mean,
Oh,
the journey that you've been through is
mhm,
such a roller coaster. It's such a
mhm,
wild ride that you've been through.
mhm.
And you've your outlook on life though has been so positive, and
Yeah.
you just have that energy. You bring people in, you attract people, and that's one of the things. It's there's the saying right now, you must be protected at all costs. Like that's how I've always felt about you because you're always so nice. Like I've always been sensitive about it and been overprotective. Like I don't know why. You can handle yourself. Like you kick the crap out of everybody around you if you have to. But I'm always like, ah, it's
Yeah.
so awesome. But that's what it is. It's your heart is so big, your energy is so positive, you're inspirational to be around. So
Thanks.
we're always trying to mimic that and we're always trying to achieve that. We're always trying to get to that. So it's wild. It's wild to see. It's unfortunate that so many things get thrown at you, but
Mhm,
it's amazing on the other hand to see how you've been able to navigate through all of it. You still come out on top each and every time.
mhm,
You're still laughing about it, you're still smiling about it, and you're
mm,
here to share your story,
yeah,
and you're getting people not just aware, but proactive to be able to do something about it too.
right.
And I think
Well,
I think it's amazing.
thanks. That's why I wrote my book. People are always saying, "You gotta share your story, you gotta share your story." But what I did different with the book is like at the end of every single chapter, I always tell people, like, when you read my book, have a journal there. And after every chapter, it has questions. Well, don't write it in the book, write it in a journal and then share the book with somebody else, because the book was
Oh,
very therapeutic for me. It was like it went through my life from like age 5, and it went through different stages of my life. And the thing is like, how many people know you at age 5? Nobody.
mm.
Even your parents, your sister or brothers, they don't know you, how you felt. So this is like pulling out feelings and putting it on paper. You could do with what you want with it. You could just have it for yourself, just to do your own self therapy. But I wrote it, and when I wrote it, like, as far as like my book sales, I don't care about book sales, but it's like, for me, it was therapy, and it was the best therapy I spent money on, was writing the book about myself, and, but it was, like, inspirational for myself to see, "Oh, shoot, I went through this?" It's like when you read it, you'll go, "That was you?" Because, there's stories about when I ran away from home, there's stories about, um, a lot of things. You'll just be amazed, like, if you didn't read it already, and, so my thought was like, it's another way I can help people. So behind the chair, we're behind the chair. We listen to people. We're like I call it a therapist. Um, on my sign back behind me, it says about a therapist. So, so for me, I sat behind the chair and I'm talking to people, and I always say, I wish I got paid for this. Well, so what I did is I'm starting a business now, and it's called Life Talk Today. I started it in 2020, and Life Talk Today was, it's about, like, people will call and they will just people need somebody to listen to them, right? That's what people sit down in your chair. They just want to talk. And, we've as hairstylists sometimes, when people start talking about gibberish stuff like we just go like this, for the most part. But I listen. I listen to people, and that's what I love about my job more than anything, is to listen to people. And but this line, somebody calls, it's like we listen without judgment, without, it's not an advice line, it's not counseling, it's just purely listening. If somebody wants to just talk about, like, yeah, I had a date last night and it was horrible and blah blah blah, whatever they want to talk about, I don't care. It's like they could call and they could talk. So the website's gonna come up. It's lifetalktoday.com, and it's gonna be it'll be up and running by October. I
Nice.
wanted to get it before the holiday season, so people, when they're lonely, need someone to talk to, they could talk to somebody. And on there, there'll be like a profile of different people, what they went through. Like mine will be um, grief and more grief. No, it'd be stuff like, yeah. No, but so everybody will have a different thing, and there'll be different lines that people could call, and they could see who they resonate with, and if they want to talk to somebody younger, not a dinosaur that's been through everything, but they could talk to whoever. So, but or just like like I said, some people just want to talk, about anything.
And you have that uncanny ability to be able to talk through any type of conversation, any kind of topic, and
Right?
still somehow keep it positive,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
still crack a joke in there, and it's funny as hell, and it's so funny, and it's wild. It's really really wild. It's that's amazing. I mean, I knew about the book. I did not
Yeah.
know about the Life Talk.
Life talk today. Yeah.
Life Talk Today. And then what and then your book is called
Split ends.
Split Ends.
Yep. Split ends
And where can we get the book?
on Amazon. It's under
Nice.
Split Ends, and then my name's Sandy Donafy. It's
So
pretty
that
cheap. They have it like on you could get it hardback, softback, and you could get it on Kindle too. So
nice. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No, so it's a very convenient way of being able to read it in, whatever format is your preferences.
right.
Life Talk Today, launches in October, which coincides with what we're doing right now with breast cancer awareness. Whether
Right.
you're a survivor, whether you're going through it, whether you just think something feels weird,
Hmm.
don't ignore it. Take this lesson, take this story, and don't ignore it. Go do something about it. Don't be stubborn like me. Don't be hard-headed like
Don't be
you.
stubborn like me. Yeah, yeah.
Go do
Don't
something
ignore
about it.
don't ignore any signs of anything. Sometimes it's not really a sign. It's just like, go get checked. Don't be too busy. Like my one client yesterday, she was like, I'm so busy, I can't do this and this and this, and it's like she's got some issues, and it's like, you know, go to the doctor. Don't ignore this, So no matter what it is, it could, there's so many other things in cancer too, but with breast cancer, it's like they have come so far with everything, with treatments and things, and um, you know, it's a miracle that I'm cancer free, but it's like I still have to watch and be careful. You don't know, it's like it's not something you did. It's just like
Yeah.
things happen. We don't give ourselves cancer. That's the thing. It's like some people will be like, I didn't even do anything. So, but like with breast cancer month, October, what are you guys doing for with HTB Beauty?
We're we've been doing a lot of interviews trying to promote the Hair to Stay Foundation, the organization,
What is that
so
exactly? What is the Hair to Stay
it's
thing?
fascinating. It's really, really fascinating. You were talking about the cooling cap technology earlier, right?
Hmm.
So
Right.
Hair to Stay is a nonprofit organization that is been put together to help offset the cost of that service while somebody's going through treatment. So while they're getting their chemo and they're sitting there and they're just stuck there getting their treatment done, they can get the cold cap and it'll offset the inflammation and the stress that's put onto the body from during the treatment time, and
Oh,
it'll
nice.
help to increase the blood flow, keep the had cooled down. Your body's on fire when you're going through chemo.
Yeah.
So that raises inflammation, it raises stress levels, it raises everything. It's also breaking down the body as well too. So this is helping to save as much as the follicles as possible. So this way, if you do end up losing hair, you won't lose as much of it, or potentially not lose anything at all. So it's
Right.
it's really, really fascinating. From HEB Beauty, from the distributor side of things, one of our brands is Ergo, which is styling tools and brushes, and they're doing pink brushes, a special edition pink round brushes, and they have a paddle brush as well too. So proceeds of those sales is going to be going to Hair to Stay. And then
Hmm.
from the She Hair Extensions brand, we have pink hair extensions. And a lot
Okay.
of stylists are doing fundraising with that. So proceeds from that fundraising are also going to go to the Here to Stay organization. So we're all
That's
trying to
awesome.
do our part, because just being aware that exists and just knowing that you should go get checked, everybody talks about it. But then after a while, people stop talking about it. Then it just comes and goes, and they're like, oh, yeah, it's October. Oh, yeah, maybe I should donate $1. Now I feel good that I did something. It's like, well, yes, thank you that you did something. But the best way to do anything, if you really want to participate, is like you're saying, and it's, go get checked. Don't ignore. Don't think
Yeah.
you're so busy that you don't have time, because unfortunately, if it takes you out, then you're never going to get to do anything that you were so
Yeah.
busy that you had to do so many different things. And like you're saying, we're all like, oh my God, what if? But
Hmm.
right now, you're still here.
Yeah.
You have to enjoy and fulfill your life while you're still here. And
Right.
the best way to do that is to stay positive, to laugh, to go through our journey and to do stuff about it, to make sure that you're extending it and living it to the fullest potential that you possibly can. So that's what
Right.
it's all about. So
Yeah.
uh,
So,
I
what about with radiation? Does it help with radiation too? Because some people have had like it's just I call it hair funk with when people get radiation, it does something weird to their hair. They don't always lose it, but they get this hair funk. It feels weird. I wonder if the cold cap would help with that.
we I do have an interview set up with them as well. So these are all the
Oh, good.
different types of things that we're going to talk to them about directly.
Okay.
And then they'll be able to give us a lot more better direction. All I can do is speculate. I have my concepts and my ideas and I have my speculations, and
Hmm.
everybody's experience is going to be unique and different a little bit as well too. You
Yeah.
know, can it help? It can. How it can help, they are going to be better to explain that than I would be able to.
Right. I'll be looking
So
forward to
yeah,
seeing that.
definitely. Yeah, after everybody's done watching this interview, they should go
Hmm.
watch that interview, and
Right.
see how the information works. And as always, reach out. You're always available to talk
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
And now you're really going to be available to talk to when you launch your
Right.
business,
Yeah.
the Life Talk Today.
Yeah.
Um, And then you've got your journey book, the Split Ends book, which is an incredible read. Not knowing you makes it feel like they've known you for a long time, and then knowing you just explains everything so much more,
Yeah.
about why we love you so much. So
Aw,
it's an incredible book.
thanks.
It's a great read.
Mhm,
It's really makes you think, especially those questions at the end of the chapters with the journaling combined.
mhm.
It really makes you self-reflect. So some chapters were harder than others because the self-reflection was harder than others, but it
Mhm.
all lined up. Like you did that on purpose. You totally
Yeah.
did that on purpose. And that's what I loved about you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so definitely. Thank you, Sandy, so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank you
having
for
me.
sharing your story and your journey, right?
Mhm.
And it's amazing to see that you're just that ball of energy, of that positivity that you've always been and you still are. You're still pushing forward. You're still moving forward. So thank you so
Right.
much for joining us. Thanks everybody
Thank
for
you.
watching. And yeah, go participate and go make a difference one person at a time. Thank you.
Thanks.